to the direction of family, work,
Correct.
finances, and things like that. And sometimes we can be pulled into one direction way too much. So it might be we're focusing too much on work and we forget everything else. How do we not tilt one way, and how do we give a balance? And is it possible to do that?
Yeah, look, I love that. The word balance, I think lately people have discovered, that's probably not a great response or a good solution to what you have just described as the problem. And that is because at different times you need to put more energy into different areas of your life, and balance demands that, for example, you've got 3 things going on and you've got 100% of your energies and times. So, everything should get 33%, 33%, 33%. That's just not true. Sometimes to get out of a tricky situation, it's going to demand that you give 65% to something for a short season, and everything else just needs to get the remaining, 35%. And then that changes over time depending on what people are going through. So if your family are going through a really difficult time, they probably require 90% of your time, and everything else needs to get 10. So what I would say is, I think purpose is the most important thing. What are you trying to achieve with your life? Is the most important thing to your business? Because if that's the case, your family will suffer. If family is your highest priority, then there's going to be times where your business will suffer, and friendships will suffer, and even your own fitness will suffer. And so you've got to work out what your purpose is, which is, what am I trying to achieve? What is your definition of success? Is it a lot of money, or is it you dying one day and your family around you at your deathbed saying, I really love my dad, or I really love my mum, or whatever, what is it? Because that's what's going to determine what you give your time to. So, for me, I look after 1,800 people. I could be out every night of the week, and I often am out a lot, but I've got to decide what's my highest priority: to build this, the biggest organization I can, or is it that my children love me? So for me, it's all about my family. So they are my highest priority. But believe it or not, they often don't need a lot of energy. Even though they are my highest priority, they don't need a lot of energy. And sometimes a smaller priority just needs far more energy to get the thing off the ground. So balance, no. Purpose, yes. What are you trying to achieve? And then from there, okay, so what are your priorities then? What needs the most attention right now? And that's a moving target, like daily. What needs my attention right now? And this is the thing, Louise, this is what I've discovered. It's actually a statement. Don't abuse the bend. I'll say that again. Don't abuse the bend. And what I mean by that is, business doesn't bend. There are deadlines, there are meetings you've got to attend, there are emails that have to be sent, and other business people don't give you any flexibility, right? You've got to send that email, it's got to go. You've got to, some type of project that you've got to present to, it's got to be done at 11:30 a.m. on Thursday, for example, right? But what does bend? Your family, cancelling a dinner engagement with your wife, that bends, right? And it's flexible. So what we tend to do is we constantly abuse the bend. Mm-hmm. What ends up happening one day is that wife, your children, whatever it may be, get so disappointed that it really causes a relationship breakdown, and the thing that mattered to you the most falls apart.
Interesting.
Because you abuse. So fitness, you can abuse the bend. It'll be okay if I don't work out for a month, 2 months, 2 years, you're too busy. All of a sudden your body starts to fail you. Well, you can't build a business if you don't have a body. Can't love your family if you don't have a body. If you're dead, can't achieve much. But we always abuse the bend. And I would just encourage you, don't abuse. Just because something's flexible, don't abuse it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I like it. I like that, Cole. I like it because it's so true. We constantly move everything else that mean the most. It's so important to us. So yeah. I like the concept.
But often the things that matter the most are the things that bend.
Correct.
Which is so tricky, isn't it? Because then you go, there's flexibility there, so I'll use that space. But yeah, I've just learned not to do that. So
how do you learn not to do that? Is there any ways you can do it? So it's like, okay, I know I'm abusing the bend. How do I stop abusing the bend? How do we stop that?
Yeah, for me, one of the most important things I do with my staff, with my family, of course, whoever, is to create a culture of feedback. So, if you join my staff, this is what I say to you. I'm assuming every time I walk past you in the corridor that your marriage is awesome, your kids love you, your finances are intact, your mentality is in a great place. And if one of those things is failing, I'm expecting you to tell me, to create some feedback. Tell me, I don't need you to be perfect. I can handle the disappointment. Please just come and tell me. I say to my wife constantly, hey, listen, I love you. You're my highest priority, but I don't want to have to keep checking in on you every 10 seconds to say, are you happy? If you're not happy about something, can you just really let me know? And we've got that relationship where she'll say, you know what, you've been neglecting me a bit lately. And I'm like, boom, shift. She's the priority. Everything has to move now because I don't want it to go down that road any further. So creating a great culture, a feedback culture. Of course, asking questions, I'll often ask my wife, are you happy? She laughs at me sometimes, but I constantly, are you happy? I say to my staff, hey, are you happy? And they know they can answer honestly. And then once I start to hear that something's not right, then I need to put some energy behind that. And I think another thing is, when you go to the doctor and they take your bloods, a doctor doesn't just look at you and just think, I think you look healthy, so that's good enough for me. No, they take bloods to get measurements. And I think we've got to be diligent in getting measurements, as in, how much time are we spending? How do you feel? Oh, you're crying 3 nights a week. Oh, right. And once you start to get some stats and some measures, you start to find out the health of something. And then from there, hey, look, I feel like I can't get out of bed sometimes. How often does that happen? And then from there, you can start to build, okay, how much energy do I need to put into this?